Hi, this is Dorothy, and this is my Teach One for HAP 464 on body system adjustment. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to download our table with the adjusted likelihood ratios. That's the table that we used last week if you haven't downloaded it already. And then next we're going to have to get our ICD-9 codes for the body systems. You see in step 2, we have our list of ICD-9 codes for Wikipedia. There are 18 codes that relate to specific body systems, plus E and V codes. We are only going to use the V codes later, we'll see. We need to check our data to see if the ICD-9 codes can be categorized into these larger classifications of body systems. So to get all of our codes, we're going to use Excel to create a list of code. So in our first column, we're going to input the code range for the body system. So you'll put in I and then that number range. And the next column, you'll use this Excel code that I provided here. They'll put it into a usable text format. That way that we can put all the codes together into a more readable string. You're going to repeat this for all 18 codes that starts at 001 and ends at 999. It's easiest if you then copy these rows into a Word doc, do it as text only, and then use find replace to take the paragraph spacing out, put a space in that'll give you a nice neat paragraph that's a lot easier to read. And then finally, that code's going to end up being the if body in, which we'll get to later. I'm going to do that for all 18 body systems. And this is an example of what it's going to look like at the end. And again, keep in mind you can do this for all 18. It takes a while, but this is what the final result will be. So now for the actual coding. So we're going to start obviously with our database. We need to convert the data types in the adjusted LR table. And then change those because they're in var charts, we need to change them to float so that we can do calculations. And then we're going to join our tables together. Step 4, we're going to then input that whole selection of body system codes that we created earlier. You're going to select all, and then you're going to follow the if body codes all the way down, all 18. We also need to include V codes. That's that final code at the bottom, and then we're going to save it into our body system table. And step 5 is actually calculations. We take the maximum from each body system, which now is 19 total, and we're going to multiply them all together to get our final predictions. And then we'll just select all in descending so we can get our highest prediction, and this is what our final table will look like. At the end, I've included what the final code looks like in full.